In this video, I'm going to be spending 100 days of hardcore Minecraft as a dragon tamer. This world is filled with dragons. Some are friendly, and some are not. But I'm gonna do my best to survive and tame as many dragons as possible. And for this video, I have 3 goals. My first goal is to collect at least 10 dragon eggs. My second goal is to make my dragons even more powerful by leveling them up. This will help with my third goal. My third goal is to find and defeat a screaming death dragon, which is one of the most powerful and scary dragons. Can I do it? Watch the whole video to find out. Also, make sure to subscribe if you ended up liking the video. Now, enjoy. Day 1, I spawned into the world and I realized I had a satchel, and inside was a bunch of items and a dragon egg. I had to grab my wood tools, so I mined this tree, got my wood tools, and then I found some stone, I mined that up, and then I got my stone tools. And I also saw my first dragon. I was exploring when this frog creature shot a spell at me. I had no armor to fight it with, so I had to rely on my pure skill to take it out. And because I'm better than Technoblade, I was able to kill this thing really easily, even though I did get poisoned. I was exploring around the world when I found this meteor, and there were aliens on top of it. I still had no armor, so I had to retreat into the woods and play this smart. So I used the trees to my advantage to help kill them. When I finally got back to the meteor, I couldn't mine any of the blocks, and the aliens just kept spawning. The aliens were multiplying and multiplying, and I was low on food, so I had to leave. I then dug myself a hole where I could cook some food and spend the night in. What a crazy first day. Day 2, I was gonna focus on getting my armor up in case any more monsters decided to attack. So I went into the mines and I got a bunch of coal and a bunch of iron. With that, I was able to make myself some armor and a shield. While out exploring, I found this giant pumpkin. I went inside to investigate and I found a dragon egg. This dragon is called the Hallow. Its diet type is candy and its preferred foods are pumpkin and cake. I collected the Hallow egg, and then with the blocks around me, I made myself an orange bed and then went to sleep. I went out exploring the next day when I found a structure in the desert. Before I could get to the structure, I was stopped by weapon-wielding serpents. These guys were pretty annoying, but I was able to take them both out. And there were some new mobs like this dragon. And when I looked over, I saw a whole swarm of serpents coming towards me. Luckily, I had blocks, so I blocked up and waited out the night for them to leave. Once they were gone, I picked up the egg. This is the Night Stalker. Its diet is a carnivore and its preferred foods are raw chicken. The structure also had a bunch of these jars, which I broke, and then they gave me good loot. I was also able to pick up blocks of gold. And into the night, I saw a dragon sleeping. It woke up and then shot fire at me. And I didn't have any water to put the fire out. The only thing I could do is try and run away and heal up. That dragon was not very nice. Into the desert, I found a village and I decided to camp out the night there. When morning time hit, I grabbed all the books from the village so I could do some enchanting later, and then I went adventuring. On my adventures, I found a new mob. This thing was a tarantula, and when it hit me, it did half my health. Thank goodness this thing's slow. I was able to escape that spider and run into a village. I was able to grab good loot like obsidian and gold. By the time night hit, I saw this new creature jumping into something. This video's sponsor. This lovely video is brought to you by Dragon City. Dragon City is a free-to-play game where you can collect over 1,000 dragons of different elements, rarities, and build your own dragon empire. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want a dragon empire? You will need to collect food, gold, and gems in order to expand your city and unlock new levels. You will breed 2 dragons to get new ones, hatch them, and then feed them to evolve. You will train your dragons and take them into battle in order to make them more powerful. There are several events every single week and a brand new battle pass to discover where you can unlock new rewards and dragons daily. One of my favorite parts of Dragon City has to be all of the dragons. As a dragon tamer myself, I do love me some dragons to collect, so Dragon City has me covered. There are also dragons of your favorite YouTubers like Dream, Carl, Preston Plays, and many more. I know you guys like free stuff and dragons of course, so if you click the link in the description, you will get a free special reward. You will get 15,000 food, 30,000 gold, and the Scout Dragon. The Scout Dragon is a beast, so go pick that up. And I do want to say thank you again to Dragon City for sponsoring this video. That was sure some crazy jump that monster did. On day 6, I found a floating island and another meteor. I left them alone because I couldn't reach either of them, and then I found this new area. This is the campsite of the Fire Nation, and there are some spawners right here, so I had to break them really quickly. There is a chest over here, and I opened it and I got a lot of random stuff, but there's also a Fire Nation map. While that was only one part, I decided to make this place my home. A house in the mountain would be the best thing because then the dragons couldn't get to me as easily. So after digging a lot, I made a little base. For the next couple days, I would be focusing on the house, so I would need a lot of wood. I chopped down a bunch of trees and then got to building. I was done building, and on day 11 I went exploring when I found a bunch of new dragons and a new structure, and inside was a new dragon egg. This is the Nightbringer. The Nightbringer's diet type is an omnivore and its preferred foods are apples and steak. I brought the Nightbringer back home and then went to bed. I woke up on day 13 wanting to grab some sugarcane, so I went on my boat and got some. I got off my boat when I found this giant mountain, and I knew I wanted to climb up it to see the view. While walking up to the top of it, I noticed that there were some weird blocks. I continued to get closer, climb higher and higher when I saw this lava thingy. I got up closer to it and clicked on it, and it said it was an incubator. I of course grabbed it, and then I saw all these cool blocks and I wanted to grab them too, so I picked up all the blocks. Once I had gotten a good amount of the blocks, I made the long trek back home. I got all my stuff set up, and then I wanted to make myself a mine, because I would need some resources in the future. I made my staircase down and found my way into a cave, and down here was a bunch of iron and a bunch of coal and other resources. I was also able to find some lapis, which was a big plus, and then I made my way back out of the cave on day 15. After a good sleep, it was day 16, and I smelted up all the iron that I had gotten. I made some buckets because I would need to collect lava for the incubator. Its fuel source is lava, so it was kind of hard to fuel it. But with the lava that I had gotten, now I could start incubating eggs and hatching dragons. I waited for the hollow egg to incubate while I got some food because I was kind of dying. I thought maybe I didn't have enough lava for the incubator, so I got more buckets and filled it up with more lava, but it still wasn't hatching. Anyways, I couldn't focus on that. I still had a lot of things to do, which was grab some sand, smelt it into glass, and then I had to take that glass and fill in my roof and windows with it. I went over to the Fire Nation thing right next to my house, grabbed a couple of their banners and decorated the house with it, and I think it was coming along. I also organized a bunch of my inventory because it was looking like crap, and then I went outside and found this. This is the reindeer dragon. I didn't want it here, so I decided to kill it. On day 21, I went exploring and I found this new creature. It wasn't really new, but it was riding a dragon, and it was a little faster. I thought I could kill it, but the thing was absolutely destroying me, so I had to retreat. I came back, made myself a shield, and then I went back to go exploring when I found this dragon. This dragon was super big, and it was a high level, but I was able to axe crit it out. On my travels, I also found another one of the giant pumpkins with another hollow egg in it. I watched some awesome sunsets and found some new places. This was a weird rune tower thing, and it had a big anvil and a statue of a dragon in it. I couldn't really do anything in here, but it was still cool nonetheless. Right above that was, you guessed it, aliens. More aliens. These guys are everywhere. I heard that there's a dragon egg inside of these things, so I wanted to break in. After a long time of mining, I found the new dragon egg. This was the galaxy dragon. Its diet type is an omnivore, and its preferred foods are apples and steak. Now I just had to get past these new aliens and grab the egg, but these aliens were super annoying and they kept getting in my way. They were spawning rapidly, so I had to be fast. I mined the egg, grabbed it, and then got out of the asteroid immediately. I was running home when I found something new. I went to the middle of it and saw a new dragon egg. This is the monstrous nightmare. Its diet type is a carnivore and its preferred foods are a lot of cooked meats. I looked over and its mother was right there. It was a level 100 dragon and that could easily kill me. I retreated and stayed the night in a village, and then the next morning I found a desert temple. Before I hopped in, I wanted to make sure that that block didn't trigger any of the TNT, and when I turned around I found this guy. That sure gave me a jump scare. Out of all the chests, the best thing I got was a diamond and maybe some bones, and after that I went back home and decided to incubate my new egg. I put this egg in there and it actually started to incubate, so I was pretty happy. Now it was just a matter of time before I had my own dragon. And yes, it had finally incubated. Now it's time to name it. I decided to name it Mr. Duke. A pretty good name if I do say so myself. And look how cute it is. This dragon is adorable. I had my dragon orb, so I put him in there. Now he was nice and safe. Made some mana infused iron, and then I used gold after that to make a new dragon orb. Now I can hatch more dragons and store them. I incubated the Night Stalker and then went to bed. On the morning of day 28, I woke up and fed my dragon a little bit, and then I went to see how the incubation was going, and it was going pretty good because it finally finished. I had to come up with a name, and I was kind of out of ideas, so I decided to just give it a smiley face and call it what it was. Your name is Night Stalker with a smiley face. I then grabbed a dragon orb and then put it back in its ball so it could be nice and safe. Now that I had 2 dragons that would protect me, I went out adventuring and saw a bunch of giant dragons. They even shot a mountain. That wasn't even the craziest thing I saw. I saw a ton of dragons just battling, and there were a bunch of creatures everywhere, and it was really scary. Not scarier than this though. I hit this dragon for some weird reason to level 100, and it shot fire at me, of course. I should not have done that. I didn't have any water, so I just had to retreat and hope it wouldn't kill me. Thankfully, it seemed to have awful aim with its fire blasts. I needed a heal, so I threw out Mr. Duke to protect me. He was doing a great job of running at the scorpion thing while I was trying to heal up, until Mr. Duke has been slain by a scorpion rider. I was so mad, I had to get vengeance for him. I charged at the scorpion rider with my shield in one hand and my axe in the other. I tried to avenge him, but it was doing so much damage and I couldn't die. I couldn't avenge him. I had to forget about it, so I continued to adventure for the next couple days, and I found a bunch of new things. I found this structure with a myth dragon inside, I snuck past it with my shield up, and I found a dragon egg. This is the myth dragon. Its diet type is a carnivore and its preferred foods are cooked chicken. Once I was done collecting the egg, there's a chest here with a bunch of redstone and obsidian. I left from there, and then after a couple days of running, I found a new Fire Nation area. There were spawners inside, so I had to destroy them, and there were some chests. Inside I got a map part and a Fire Nation spear. I went behind the Fire Nation outpost and realized how similar it looked to my house's location. I found my way back home on day 37 and checked my incubator, and the myth egg was done. Time for the name, and I of course named it something very original, which was Myth. You sure are a lot smaller than the one in the lair. I decided to go to sleep right after that, and the next day I made myself another portal with the obsidian I got. I lit it up and then went inside. There isn't anything too special about this nether. I still wanted to explore a lot of the world, so I went exploring, and after a long time of running I found a new biome. The trees all looked awesome and the wood was white. And I of course had to grab some to bring it back home. I found this new animal over here. I didn't know if it was deadly or not, but it turned out not being deadly, but I hit it anyways. I continued exploring through this biome when I came up to this area, and right in front of me was a dragon egg. This is the Gladius. Its diet type is an omnivore and its preferred foods are apples and steak. Grabbed that egg and then went adventuring again when I found this swamp area. Inside the swamp I found 2 frog mages, and these were really hard to kill. Killing one of them is easy, but the other was pretty hard, and I had to use my gapples that I had gotten. At multiple times I had gotten down to 1 heart, so I had to keep using my gapples just to stay alive. I finally got fully healed and I killed the frog mage, and it dropped me something. It dropped me the frog mage staff. Now I could shoot poison orbs at my enemies. I continued adventuring and I found this new biome, and it had a new grass. This was dark grass and it looked way better than the original grass, so I grabbed a bunch of it. And there was a new wood, so I grabbed that too. Later in the night while exploring, I found this area. This place is really creepy. I wonder what this is. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? The statue in the middle went away and out came 2 new mobs. I knew they wouldn't be friendly, so I shot them with my mage staff, and that seemed to do the trick for most of it. I used my fire spear and came in to finally finish these guys off. Okay, there's one, and there's 2. Alright. Over the course of the next couple days, I found this mushroom house. Everything else in the forest was kind of boring, but this was pretty cool. I had a spawner in it, so I destroyed that, and I decided to take all the books from it. I went upstairs to find more bookshelves and really nothing else. It was cool, but I had to leave anyways. I realized I really haven't leveled up my dragons yet, so I had to get back home quick. I made it home on day 50, but I wasn't recording for the other 2 days, so I'll show you what I did. I got a full set of iron armor and new tools. I got 2 new dragons. I got the Gladius dragon that you've already seen and the angelic dragon. Now that you're all caught up on what I did, it's time to go mining. And after only 1 day of caving, I found diamonds. And this vein gave me a good amount of diamonds too. And right after that, I was jumping along the lava and then this happened. I found more diamonds. I thought it would be like a 1 or 2 vein, but it ended up being, I don't know how many veins, but it was a lot of diamonds. So you can best believe that I left the caves happy. With those diamonds, I made myself a diamond pickaxe, and then I poisoned myself. I didn't mean to, but the frog mage staff would not let me sleep either because of the poison. The poison lasted a long time, so it took me a while to get to bed. I went to bed and went out exploring the next day. I went back to the meteors because I realized you can make even better tools with them, so I mined up meteorite chunks and then turned them into awesome tools like a meteorite pickaxe. The last thing that I got there was some obsidian before I came home and went to bed. 56, I decided to make my enchanting table because I wanted to get all of that set up. Figured this would be a good place, and I made the whole enchanting book area and it looked pretty good. Now I just needed some levels to actually enchant my stuff. So I'd gotten up to 30 levels, now I just had to go back and enchant my things. On my fire staff, I got sharpness 3, looting 3, and unbreaking 3. I was happy about that, but I wasn't happy about my armor, so I made some diamond armor. I wanted to kill some dragons today because I don't know why, and I found this one that was just sitting in the field. It looked like it was gonna light my whole house on fire. Luckily it didn't. My magical staff wasn't really doing much, so I waited for it to land, and it finally did. So I used my new staff to kill it. There was a dragon chilling in the field, and I got into a fight with it. This one actually fought back too. Its fire breath actually did a lot of damage, and I had to heal up. I realized I couldn't kill it, so I retreated. I got back home and made some dragon treats for my dragon to level them up, and they actually got pretty big. Now they could protect me better, and they were more powerful. I wanted to enchant my axe, but I really didn't have enough levels, so I went to the nether and grabbed some, and then I came back and enchanted it. And I got a pretty good enchant. I went to go test it out on some trees, and it was pretty good. I also grabbed some seeds because I needed to start a farm. These farms would be crucial for actually leveling up my dragons because they need a lot of dragon treats. I made myself a golden hoe and then I got to farming. After tilling the ground, I placed in the seeds and then I waited. While I was waiting, I went out exploring and I found 2 pumpkins and a lot of aliens. Behind all of that was a new structure I haven't even seen before. Inside was a new dragon egg called the bee. Its diet type is a carnivore and its preferred foods are apples and golden apples. Collected the egg and then made my way back home. It was late again and the crops were growing pretty good, so I went to sleep. And on the morning of day 65, I decided to do some farming and I went out and grabbed some sheep. These sheep would be a great sacrifice to feed my dragons and make them even more powerful. That night, I was just clicking around my keyboard and I found out that I could revive my dragons. So the next day, I immediately went to do that. I tried the Night Stalker first, and right when I revived it, it got shot by a skeleton. Subscribe if you think skeletons are the worst mob in the game. Luckily, you can revive your dragons as many times as you need to. But I was so happy because now I could revive all of my old dragons that I thought I'd lost forever. Welcome back, Mr. Duke. I am so happy all of you guys are back. You don't know how much I missed you guys. I realized Mr. Duke was at level 1, and I couldn't have that, so I gave him one more treat to make him level 2. The rest of the day was spent mining for ores. I got a bunch of lapis, a ton of iron, and a bunch of other things. I came out of the caves feeling pretty achieved, so I went to bed. Over the course of the next couple days, I would be farming a lot and getting all of my enchants ready, so I went into the nether a lot of times and came back with a lot of levels and enchanted all of my armor and my tools. Now that I had good armor, I wanted to challenge some of these dragons, and they were still super powerful. This one actually got me a lot lower than I thought he would, because his fire just lasted for a long time. And he started shooting fireballs at me, so I had to get out of there. I escaped successfully and I found an ocean. And there was a tree right here, so I thought it was destiny that I would get a boat and start rowing on the ocean. I forgot how beautiful the water is with these shaders. While rowing, I found a giant ice spike thing. So of course, I had to investigate. I rowed over to it, and when I got to the top, there was something on it. It looked like an incubator, but it was white. So I picked it up anyways and checked what it was, and it was a tier 1 ice incubator. I broke down inside the iceberg to find this. It was a new dragon egg. This is the Beast. Its diet type is a carnivore, and its preferred foods are fish and mutton. This is also the biggest dragon out of all of them. So I collected the egg and then went back home. I immediately started to work to see how I could upgrade this thing, and all of it took a lot of ores. And of course, that calls for a mining trip, which on this mining trip, I found a lot of diamonds. These diamonds are definitely needed because I need them to get the tier 5 incubator. Sadly, this pickaxe has silk touch, so I think we need to fix that. I crafted myself another meteorite pickaxe, and then I went to enchant it. The enchant was Fortune 2, which would be perfect for mining these diamonds. I went to the nether and got my 30 levels, and then enchanted the pickaxe. Then I decided to mine all the diamonds, and I got a lot of them. The Fortune 2 definitely paid off here. With all the diamonds that I got, I crafted the tier 5 incubator upgrade, and then I took it over and made a tier 5 ice incubator. For the rest of the day, I cooked up some food, and then I filled up all of the ice incubator with the water, because that was its fuel source. And I did all of that before going to bed. Day 3, I worked on hatching a bunch of eggs with my new incubator. I hatched the angelic egg because I wanted to see what it would be like, and I named it Halo because that was a good name. A lot of my eggs were used on the ice incubator, but I wanted to hatch the Beast because it was huge. I could tell this was going to be a good dragon because it took a lot of water buckets to hatch. And after a lot of waiting and a lot of water, the Beast was finally incubated. I of course had the best name for this guy. Subscribe! Now, every single time you see this dragon, you have to subscribe because it's its name. To end off the night, I incubated the galaxy egg and then went to sleep. Day 74 through 76 were primarily spent on farming, but I also gotta do some fun stuff like hatch these dragon eggs. I decided to name this galaxy dragon and leave a comment, so now every time you see that, you have to leave a comment. I was able to make a lot of treats and feed off my Beast. This thing got giant really quickly. And it says subscribe, so you have to subscribe, that's the rules. I continued doing a lot more farming because I really needed to level up my dragons quickly. Farming also includes a lot of murder. With all that murder, I was able to make some more treats and level up my Beast even more. Subscribe was getting giant, which means more of you guys are subscribing, thank you. I then went to bed, and the next day I started to work on a new room. This room did take me a couple of days, but it turned out very good, and now I have a place for my incubators. I had a lot of eggs that I probably wasn't going to hatch, so I just made them look really good and displayed all of them. And of course, after that, I did more farming and even more slaughtering. I crafted up a bunch of dragon treats and then leveled up my Beast a lot. This thing was getting huge and it looked like it evolved. It gave me the option to ride it, so of course I did. And riding it was actually pretty cool, and it had some special attacks that I could use to defeat my enemies. Since I had a cool dragon, I needed to get cooler armor, which means I made a diamond chestplate and enchanted it when I found a new chest. This chest wasn't here before, and it had the Fire Nation map part that I needed. I swore I checked for all the chests, but this was great news because now I can make the Fire Nation map. I finished up crafting the Fire Nation map, and when I had it in my hands, I didn't know what it would do, but I right-clicked on it and it teleported me somewhere. It brought me to the fire dimension, and I knew that if I was gonna find this screaming death dragon, this is where I would find it. I realized I'm definitely not ready to fight this thing, so I went back home. If I was gonna do this, then I would need my dragon to be a higher level, so I crafted up some more dragon treats, and then I leveled up my Beast. Now I think I'm ready to go. Let's go explore. As I was teleported in, I was very weary of new mobs. I didn't know how powerful the mobs would be here, so I went on my Beast and flew around. This was gonna help me scout out the land. I was killing some of these new mobs when I saw it. It was the screaming death dragon. I got closer. I wanted to investigate. Okay, it's asleep right now. Let's get closer. I got really close, but I realized I had to leave. I couldn't fight this thing yet. I went over to the buildings while I was on fire and looked at this thing. It kind of looked like the thing I saw in the forest. I didn't really know what it was, but after I killed one of these guards, it dropped a tier 2 dungeon key, so I right-clicked on it. Okay, that's not good. When I looked over, it was a flaming hydra. I used my staff, but apparently magic doesn't work on this, so I hopped on my dragon to see if that would do some damage. It did a good amount of damage, but I had to go in because my dragon isn't very accurate. The flaming hydra shot more and more fireballs at me, and it was doing a lot of damage. Not to mention, its minions were super annoying. I kept landing a couple of shots with my spear, but still it wasn't doing that much damage. I hopped on my dragon to see if that would do the job this time, and it did a lot of damage with that shot right there. And with one more blast from my dragon, the Hydra was dead. I did want to go around exploring those buildings though, to see if they had any good loot. And the first chest I found, it had a lichen helmet, which is way better than diamond. And this lichen helmet looked a lot cooler. I continued going through the tower finding more and more chests. I got lichen boots and a bunch of other stuff. And in this chest I got a lichen chest plate. All I needed were the leggings. I went to this floor to see if I could find them, but all I found was death. I was on the brink of death, so I had to leave. And the map teleported me into a river, which was pretty weird. I got back home and enchanted all of my armor because I needed to defeat this screaming death. I found it, now I just had to kill it. I wanted to make sure my dragon was level 100, so I killed all of my sheep and then made myself some new dragon treats. I then got subscribed to over level 90, so he was looking pretty good. And I had some time to spare, so I decided to do some building. My place was looking pretty small and I wanted to expand it so I could actually have a bedroom. So after a couple of days of work, this is what I got. I got full glowstone lit staircases, and I made myself a cool balcony area. Not to mention, the views are amazing. I finished admiring the view and then went to bed, and the next day I made some more dragon treats. I was gonna upgrade one of my other dragons, my leave a comment dragon, so he could be a little more powerful and help me out. Once I finished that up, it was time to go to the fire dimension. I went in there and he was still asleep. I was going around back to get a better angle when he woke up and started shooting his fireballs at me. And this dragon's face is engraved into my mind. It's so terrifying. The tarantulas were trying to kill me, so I threw out leave a comment and he died shortly after that. I want you guys to leave a comment about leave a comment. I hopped on subscribe and now he could probably 2-tap this thing. He was so powerful. I wanted to put it to a test, so I used my breathing attack to get it low, and then I went in with my blast attacks and that seemed to do it. Job's not over, let's do this. I rated up another blast attack and the dragon died. Even though that was a quick fight, I was still super happy and I was able to grab the egg and then go incubate it. This thing took a lot of lava, but when I finished incubating it, I named it something scary. I know. It fits the dragon pretty perfectly though. I still have some days to kill, so let's go beat the Ender Dragon. I started to destroy all the towers with my dragon, and it was going really easily. Ender Dragon had nothing on my dragons. So I continued to take out each pillar while the Ender Dragon healed until this happened. Yeah, I fell and I died. It was pretty anticlimactic. I still can't believe I died to the Ender Dragon. I guess he is the most overpowered dragon. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment because I do heart every single one of them. And see ya. We have one more message from the sponsor of the video. Just a reminder that if you guys want to be Dragon Tamers yourself, then make sure to download Dragon City through the link in the description or the pinned comment.